What's happening, Carolina fans? Welcome to Two Fans in the Stands, a podcast related to all things Carolina Panthers and North Carolina Tar Heels. I'm your co-host, Tony.
And I'm your co-host, CJ.
Let's go. CJ, tell me how you feeling on this victorious Sunday evening.
I'm feeling great about the win. Still concerned.
Talk about it.
But a W is a W, and I'm glad we got it.
Yes, it is, and yes, I am. Okay, well, as always, let's get right into it. So tell me, what stood out to you in this matchup with the Saints?
For me, I'm going to go with the play calling again and the line. The
Offensive line?
And the line, the offensive line, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give the defense their praise, and I'm gonna let them slide this week.
Okay.
Even though they weren't perfect, but damn it, they the only reason we won. So, I'm giving them their praise.
But it's a victory, so we ain't gonna go in too hard on them, are we?
Got to, man. Got to.
Lord.
Man.
Come on, negative
got
Nancy.
to.
Come on.
Hey, call me what you want. Call me negative Nancy. Call me negative Ned. But call me a realist. Call me a strategist.
All right.
Okay, because I'm thinking forward. I'm thinking in the future.
Okay, let's go. Let's hear
it. First off, I'm gonna start with the play calling. Just like I said in the preview, play calling. They've got to do something. They have got to do something. There is no way in the world that DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson should have a catch apiece.
Right.
They've got to find better ways to get people involved. Look at Laviska Shenault. Brother got in the game. They called the quick out to him, took it to the house. Now, mind you, that play worked out great.
Yeah, because I don't think he was the primary receiver on that play.
I don't think so either. I'm just glad it worked out. But the play calling for the rest of the game, besides that play, was just, to me, it was trash. I know I use that word a lot, but I got to call it what it is. Play calling is just garbage juice trash. I mean, it's just bad. Something's got to happen. So, yeah, I'm sorry, but something has to happen. Baker doesn't look comfortable, and Baker has to take ownership in a lot of this too, and he says he does. I hope he continues to say he does. I hope he continues to take ownership. I hope he knows that this is on him too. But I still don't believe that Ben McAdoo has put this entire offense in a position with the play caller to maximize their abilities. It still looks like they're in the beginning of training camp and they're still learning the playbook. It's crazy. They showed a replay of 1 3rd down and they sent 3 wide receivers out, and New Orleans was playing zone, the zone that Panthers love to play. But I mean, they had everybody covered. I mean, like covered. And like I said, it could have been the play calling. It might have been the fact that they were out there just not running the routes right. Something. But besides Christian McCaffrey, running for 108 yards, the offense besides Christian McCaffrey running for 108 yards and that long 69-yard touchdown to Shenault, I mean, the rest of the day was just not good, offensively. And my thing is, if they turn around and hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey and run him up the middle one more time on like third and short, and they run him in between the center and the guard one more time, I'm sitting there hollering at the screen. What did you bring in Foreman for?
Right. I don't think he had no touches yesterday.
I want to say that he had one, maybe.
No.
But
He didn't have no rushes yesterday. It was just Christian
sure
McCaffrey and Chuba had 3, and Baker. When he scrambled or whatever you want to call it, what he be doing. But yeah, he didn't have not one touch yesterday.
Yeah, that and like and that goes back to the play calling. I've been harping on this, and you know this for a while, and I was happy when they brought in Foreman. Why in God's name do you hand the ball off to Christian McCaffrey on third and short and insist that he's running it in between the tackles? Our offensive line play is better, but it's not to the point that we should, as fans. Okay, well, it's third down and 1. We're going to give it to McCaffrey because this line is just going to move everybody out the way, going to open the hole, and he going to get his first down every time. Nah.
Right.
Nah, it's look, you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
Tell me if I'm wrong. Go ahead.
Well, I would say this. I won't say. I disagree with you when you say the play calling is trash. And the reason why I say that is because yesterday I saw something that I have been harping on and saying about our receivers for 2-3 years. And I'll say it now, since we had this platform. DJ Moore is not a great route runner. He doesn't run great routes. None of our receivers yesterday were able to get off and create any separation in their routes. And it makes the play calling look pedestrian because it makes the quarterback looks like he can't throw the ball or nobody can get open and he can't get to him. The one thing that I will credit Baker for, and I don't think he got enough credit for yesterday, is the fact there was no fumble snaps. He didn't have any fumbles, and he didn't throw any interceptions. And to me, he didn't force the ball in there, to try to make a play. To me, that's a win, even though the numbers look pedestrian. But for the most part, I mean, Baker is he is who he is. But for the most part, if you being honest with yourself in assessment of the game, he didn't do anything to cause us to lose the game. And to me, that's a big plus over anything. Like everything else can be worked on. And I said this last week. Baker came to the team 2 weeks before training camp. This is a new offensive system for everybody. The offensive line, the receivers, the running back, for everybody, even Baker. So I understand, everybody wants to see it all come together quicker than, later. But the fact is, it's still a work in progress, and it's going to be a work in progress all season. I was just glad to see that he didn't put us in a position to lose the game. He wasn't necessarily the reason why we won it.
Hold on. Let me cut you off right here.
Go ahead.
It's a difference between work in progress that's showing, steadily improvement, and a work in progress that's playing dead on the floor. I mean.
Okay, I think you've been a little extreme now, but go ahead.
No, I mean it's you know that little picture that goes around on the internet, and they switch the team logo every time. It's the little person with the round head and like got his shorts pulled all the way up to about his chin, and it got the little stick poking the logo. Do
Yeah.
something. Do something. Do something. That's the Panthers offense right now.
Oh my
Do
God.
something. But besides a couple of drives this year,
Right.
besides a couple of drives, you think about it. The Panthers have had what? Hell, three good drives the whole season. And when I say good drives, I mean coming away with 7 instead of 3.
Okay.
Maybe 4. What we scored? We scored 1 touchdown versus the Giants. We scored 1 touchdown versus the Saints. What did we have 2 versus the Browns? Or was
Yeah, I
Robbie
think we
Anderson the
had
only one?
no. I think we had to get the Browns because I think Christian scored over the top, and I think
That's right. Okay, so
Robbie
4.
had the 75-yarder.
Yeah, 3 games. We've had 4 decent drives. All right, and 2 of them have been because of one, one really long play. I'm sorry. I feel like that little meme. I'm still sitting there. Yay, we won! Woo! And I'm sitting there looking at everybody, and I'm looking at the offense, and I'm looking down there, and I got my stick, and I'm still there, like, do something, please.
I mean, listen. I understand. I hear you. I hear you. I'm not disagreeing totally with you. I guess what I'm saying is, or I guess you can say, kind of preaching a little bit, is to have patience.
Come on, Diggy.
And I know this ain't your strong suit, but we have to have patience. Like I said, this is not an offense that they've been in for 2-3 years. If it was an offense that everybody had been in for like 2-3 years, and we were playing this pedestrian like, I would be like, okay, yeah, something got to change. Something really has to change. Whether it's the offensive coordinator and the play calling, whether it's the quarterback and his lackluster play, or whatever the case may be, something has to change. But I just go back to saying that this is a new offense for everybody, and what some people got excited about in the preseason. Like I always say, people have to realize and remember the preseason, people are coming at you with their vanilla defenses. Like you're not gonna see all the exotic blitzes and the stunts between the defensive tackles and the defensive ends and the pressures and stuff like that you're gonna see in the regular season. So I'm looking at it, and each week I'm looking to see if Baker is going to get better in certain areas. Now, granted, in my mind, he looked better offensively last week than he did this week. But at the same token, the big thing that I wanted to see, I didn't want to see no balls get batted down. I don't think he had not one ball batted down yesterday. He didn't throw no interceptions. There were no fumble snaps, and he didn't turn the ball over. To me, again, that was a great win. Do he still need to progress and get better? Yes. Would I like to see it sooner rather than later? Yes. But I would take the victory and knowing that even though he didn't play to the up to the standard that we're looking for, he didn't cost us the game. That's the big overall takeaway from me. And like I said, I'll go back to the receivers again. They need to learn or need to find a way to get separation. That's not on Baker. Baker is not running a dig or a post or out. He's not running the routes for the receivers. They need to know how learn how to set up the cornerbacks better and get better separation. And hopefully you'll find the ball where it needs to be. Now Baker did have some overthrows yesterday. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
excluding any of that, but I just think that better separation, better route running will lead to better production on both ends. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, and I go back to your comment about the system. And correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this Doug Peterson's first year coaching the Jaguars down there in Jacksonville, Florida?
Yes.
Didn't they bring in a new offensive coordinator in a new system?
Yeah, yeah, I would assume. I don't know who the offense coordinator is in Jacksonville, but
Okay,
yeah,
but
I'm pretty sure.
we just gonna assume they got a new system, right? That
Okay,
that potentially none of them have run before.
okay.
What's their record? Do you know?
What, 2-1?
2-1, and I just so happened to catch most of that game yesterday after the Panthers game, and yeah, I don't buy that whole it's a new offense. They still learning. You're not wrong. Okay, let me go ahead and tell the people you're not wrong in saying that,
Okay.
but I'm still sticking with the fact that it needs to be signs of progression other than him doing the stuff that he should do every play, and that's not fumble the snap. You know what I mean? Now the
So
batted balls, the batted balls, that's I'm not too concerned about that. Baker's short. I mean, he's a little taller than me, but football quarterback wise, he's short. He's probably gonna get a few balls batted down. But
yeah,
I'm not giving them a pass with them just learning the offense, because my thing is, if you started out slow week 1 and it got a little better week 2, got a little better week 3, it's going down. As far as our offense and how they look, it's going down week to week. The only thing that's getting better is the snap between the center and Baker Mayfield, and he's not getting his balls batted down. Christian McCaffrey is being Christian McCaffrey. The offensive line is opening up some holes for him,
okay.
but we're not the Cleveland Browns. We do not have that offensive line. We do not have that run game. We can't do this every week.
No, I feel you.
And I'm look, I'm holding on to my guns on this one.
I
They
get you.
out the holster. I'm not putting them back in until I see something better. I'm telling you,
Okay.
I'm ready to shoot.
All right. Well, going back to that, to you bringing up Jacksonville. Now, if you're going to compare apples to apples, let's do that, because it's not completely even. And I say that
No,
because
I didn't say it was even.
no,
I
no,
didn't say it was even.
I know you didn't. I know you didn't. But you compare Jacksonville having a new head, a new offense coordinator, new play calling, just like Carolina, right? And that's true. But now let's look at it in its totality. Jacksonville offensive line is the same offensive line, the bookends, especially the bookends, the left tackle and the right tackle, that have been
Mm-hmm.
playing there for the past 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Jawan Taylor from Florida, and they got Cam Robinson from Alabama. They came in together. All right.
Yeah.
Even though this is Trevor Lawrence's first year in that system, this is second year with the team. So he has he's familiar with his offensive linemen, and
Mm-hmm.
they are familiar with him. Now you go to the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at Christian Kirk is a precise route runner. Not only
Mm-hmm.
is he a precise route runner, he has the speed to match it. So you have to respect the speed, and you have to try to compensate that by trying. And I don't know how you do it, but you try to you can't play him man and not expect to get burnt, because he can either burn you with his speed going deep, or he can burn you with his precise route running. Marvin Jones, same thing, precise route running, or he can beat you with his speed, and he's also tough, right? Think about it. We don't have a receiver, in my opinion, that is playing, and I emphasize playing, that can do either of the two things that I mentioned that those two receivers can do. DJ Moore, He got speed. He even got size, but he's a horrible route runner. I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna just say what I've always been saying. He's horrible at route running. Robbie Anderson got speed, horrible at route running, and he has no interest in blocking whatsoever. I don't understand why we throw receiver screens or bubble screens to the same side of the field and expect Robbie Anderson to put his hands on somebody and block. That's not what he does. Each time we do that, the play gets blown up. So
Mm-hmm.
when we are comparing the totality of the offense, against each other, we have to look at those aspects and all together. And on top of all that, Baker Mayfield will never be a Trevor Lawrence. Let's go ahead and just say that. Just be honest. He ain't got Trevor Lawrence height. He ain't got Trevor
Mm-hmm.
Lawrence arm. He ain't got Trevor Lawrence athleticism. He just not
Mm-hmm.
Trevor Lawrence, period. Yeah, Baker won the Heisman, first overall pick. Whoop de
Mm-hmm.
whoop. I don't think he should, in my opinion, I don't think he should have won the Heisman that year. And I definitely don't think that he should have been the first overall pick. But when you're just looking at two talents, like if it was me and I was the head coach, I would rather have Trevor Lawrence than Baker Mayfield.
Well,
I'm
if
just
that
saying.
hold on if that's the I'm gonna take it back to the country here. If that's the clothesline you gonna hang your stuff on, then give me Teddy Bridgewater, because Teddy Bridgewater dropped 1,000 yards on both of them 2 years ago. If we gonna do that, that's
Yeah,
why I
but you
say
talking
hold
about
on, hold
what
on, wait,
Teddy?
Padawan, wait, old Padawan. You know, if if that's what we're gonna do, he had both of them had 1,000 yard seasons with Teddy Bridgewater. In an offense that I think is well, I think was. Let me see. I don't know. At this point, I think that offense then was better than what they've shown these past few weeks. But that's what I'm getting at. It can be done. We've seen it.
Are you
Yes,
done?
DJ Moore is not the best route runner. Robbie Anderson don't block for shit. I agree with you on that one. Robbie is not the best route runner either. But it's not like they haven't put plays on film that show you what they can do. You get what I'm saying? Just
Okay,
think
but
about last. Hold on. Think about last year now. Think about last year, the first 3 games of the season when we had Sam Darnold out there balling in Joe Brady's offense. And I look back and after we started sliding last year, I was like, yeah, Joe Brady got to go. Joe Brady got to go. And it ain't been the same since. And I'm not gonna I'm not I don't want to get down on Ben McAdoo, but I am. You know, it's
well, that
it's
sounded like a
there.
contradiction.
Hey, call it what you want. It's there. It's there. They're not getting it out of them, and I think that goes back to coaching and more importantly, play calling. But this the last I'm gonna say on it. I think I've harped on this too long. I think the people want to hear something else, because I mean it is a W. We did win. So
Come on, Ned. Come on.
hey, look, call Ned, Nancy, whatever you want to. I'm
Oh
gonna
my
speak the
God.
truth. I'm gonna
Speak
speak.
it.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna speak what I see, because everybody's truth is somebody's lie. So hey, I'm speaking what I see.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But I'm just gonna say just give it more time. Just give it more time. I mean, 3 games. We just completed our third game of the season. There's 14 more games to go. I think the true sample size is in a full season. So you really don't know what you got until you have enough on your plate. And right now, we don't have enough on the plate. We still in the
Mm-hmm.
hors d'oeuvre, portion of it. We ain't gotten to the
Yeah.
full meal and the dessert. So this
I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit for that one. You absolutely right. But Matt Rule ain't loyal to no damn quarterbacks. So next year ain't promised for Baker. Just keep that
no,
in
and I
mind.
understand that. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm a hundred.
He loyal to Phil Snow. That's the only person he loyal to.
I'm 110%. I'm 110% in saying if Baker don't get any better than what he has shown in the first 3 weeks, I I am 110% with not re-signing him to an extension because this is the last year of his rookie contract. Also,
Mm-hmm.
the last year of Sam Darnold's rookie
Yeah.
contract. Neither one of them are on the books for next year. So it's either you show and prove and show that you're worth keeping, or adios,
Cut.
and we'll move on to the next step. But right
Mm-hmm.
now, this is a show and prove season for both of them. I don't care who is in there starting. It's a show and prove time for the both of them.
Yeah. But you know what though? I'm I'm gonna go ahead and slide on to my next point because I feel like I've stretched this one out, far too long with my negativeness, if that's even a word.
Yes,
But
yes, yes, yes. You have, yes, you have.
oh, shut up. Look, I'm gonna get to my next point real quick, and I'm gonna make it
Okay,
real fast.
all right,
Offensive line. I'm not going to bash them this week. Um, Icky did have one play where it looked like the entire offensive line was blocking one way and he didn't get the message on the third
right.
down. There was another play where the Saints brought pressure and Brady Christensen got knocked backwards like he was on slip and slide. And he got blew the
Oh
hell
my
up.
God,
That linebacker blew him the hell up,
is
knocked him
that why?
flat on his ass.
Is that the play when I sent you the message and I was
Yes, yes.
like your boy got roached.
I mean,
He was on his
he
back like a
got
cockroach.
oh my god, he got ran the hell over something bad. I
Yeah,
looked at that and I
yeah.
was like, ooh, I was like, oh boy, that's definitely his worst play of the season.
It did
But
not look good for the
all
home team.
yeah, but all in all, I was pleased with the offensive line. Christian McCaffrey did get 108 yards rushing. Baker, for the most part, had time. He had time, and it's going to be times where he gets pressured. But now, I think that's one thing about the offense that is progressively getting better.
What's that?
Is the offensive line. I think that I think you can see it from week to week. They are getting better. It's not leaps and bounds, but it's noticeable.
I agree.
So yeah. So offensive line play, if they can keep doing this, they can keep getting better, and if they can keep opening up lanes and Christian McCaffrey can run for 100 yards a game, I'm all for it. And I'll give the O line a hand clap of praise this week, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah, I agree with you 110% on it. It was nothing to write home about, but it wasn't nothing to really complain about. We just have to
Mm-hmm.
accept the fact that,
Exactly.
we starting four new starters on the offensive line. We got a second year and a first year on the left side. That is basically, in my mind, rookies still themselves, with Brady
Oh yeah.
Christensen and Ike Ekwonu. But I the good thing that I did see, that for the third straight week, we started the same offensive line and nobody got hurt. So
Yeah. Preach.
I love to
Look,
see the
knock on wood.
consistency. Right. I want to see the consistency continue with the offensive line, along with them gelling
Mm-hmm.
and getting better. I still feel like Bradley Bozeman should be the starting center because we need
Yes.
that beef in the middle over Pat Elflein. Because between him and
Mm-hmm.
Ian Thomas, I don't know who stayed on the ground more. But I digress, and I'm gonna leave that alone.
Well, you know what? I think for once we are in agreement.
Yeah, I am not about to let them rain on my parade. Them
I
two,
know that's
no
right.
sir, no
Yeah,
sir.
but I guess we can flip it now. What were your takeaways from the game? What? Let you speak to the people because I've rambled enough.
Yes, yeah. Well, for me, uh, the pressure from the defense, feeding CMC and LaVisca Chenault brought the juice. Now, my first two, were things that I talked about in the preview that I felt like Carolina needed to do in order to be successful against the Saints. And one of the things were bringing the pressure. They needed to apply the pressure on Jameis Winston all game long.
Speak
And
on it.
they kept the pressure on Jameis all game long, which resulted in
Mm-hmm.
two interceptions, one by Derek Dump Truck Brown and J.C. Horn, and the scoop and score by Marquise Haynes. But let me go back to
Haynes is
Dump Truck
fast, ain't he?
Brown. Yeah, hey, Haynes fast. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, he
Like
took off.
I knew he was fast, but I don't think I realized he was that fast. But
Yeah.
I don't think people give him credit for being as strong as he is. Just to be only
Mm-hmm.
240 pounds, like he fast and strong. Like I've been
He
saying
is.
this for the past couple of years. I think he should get more run than what he does than what he is given on the defensive line. But I understand that they also want to be bigger and stout. But he
Mm-hmm.
come in on those passing downs and he do his thing. You know what I'm
He sure
saying?
does.
But Derek Brown, I saw him unload the dump truck. He was like, let me stretch this dump truck out and get this interception. Let me get this load on my back.
Man, let me tell you. Let
Yeah.
me tell you. Well, he caught the interception, but I jumped clean off the couch. I thought he had dropped it, and then they turned around. And it was like, no, Panthers ball, and I was like, crap. I said, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, you talking about excited? Oh my God. I was like, look at that dump truck getting that pressure. I was just excited to see the defensive line applying pressure all game long. Now, it didn't generate or turn into a whole bunch of sacks, but they kept Jameis uncomfortable, moving
Mm-hmm.
off his spot. And I knew as long as we kept the pressure on Jameis, even when it looked like we was going to blitz him, that he was going to try to take shots down the field. Some of them, he completed, but two of them led to interceptions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I said last week. I was like, you pressure him long enough, he will give the ball back to you. He will give the ball back to you. And
Yeah.
I was also excited. I'm trying to contain my excitement because you know where I'm about to go. My
Big
boy Snacks
snacks.
McCall. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Big Snacks got in there and did his thing playing nose guard. I think he had a
Yeah,
tackle for
man.
loss at one time.
He
But
did.
I love to see how he stack and shed the center. And he was just stood there like, yeah, come to daddy.
I'm telling you, man.
He was like,
I'm
come to
telling you.
daddy. And
He just go hands. Throw him to the side. Let me go make this tackle.
yes, and that's what you want to see from your nose tackle, man. Hey, listen, I was so excited to see him do his thing, and I was also excited to see Davion Nixon was productive in his limited snaps. I think he had a tackle for loss
Yeah,
one
he
time,
sure did.
so I was glad that they brought him up from the practice squad. I'm glad that they left Phil Hoskins' ass on the practice squad where he needs to stay. In my personal opinion, that's just my
Agreed.
personal opinion. That's my feelings on it, and I'm gonna stand on that. But
Hey, I'm with you.
yeah, I was just glad to see them boys apply pressure, get Jameis off his spot. You know, that created turnovers, and
Mm-hmm.
I was glad to see how we gang tackle for the most part on Alvin Kamara, and we got that strip sack by Frankie Louvu, that turned into that
Yeah.
scoop and score by Marquise Haynes. So what you thought? What you thought about the pressure from the defense?
Pressure was great. Pressure was
Okay.
great. Old dump truck had that he had that Mac humming. I mean he was getting it. Him, Ionitis, he had a couple tackles for
Yeah.
loss.
Yes, it
Big
is.
Snacks came in, did his thing. Marquise Haynes, I mean, this thing not nothing to do with pressure, but he took advantage of his opportunity when it came along. The only one I was really disappointed in was Brian Burns. He was kind of a no show.
Yeah.
He was pretty much a no show, but but you know what? He has shown up, in the first three games a lot more than the rest of them. So if it's one of those cases where he had an off game, but everybody else showed up, I'll take it. I'll take it. I thought that I thought Phil Snow actually. Let me see. I think he actually got a little exotic with his play calling. And he
Yes. Yes, he
at
did.
one point I felt like he did the usual. He took his foot off the throttle ever so slightly, and Jameson then went down the field in 3 plays. But
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody came into the booth, tapped him on the shoulder, and said, "Coach Snow, put your foot back on the gas and let's go."
Yeah. Like you
And
fell asleep or something.
I well, no, hopefully he didn't fall asleep because he been falling asleep the past couple games, and he just
Right.
take his whole foot off the gas, and then maybe he had to stop and use the bathroom or something, and he got back in the truck and he floored it again. Maybe he had to pee or something this time. He got
Yeah.
back in the truck and then he burnt rubber and peeled out, but.
Yeah.
I was very happy with it. I thought that they and they kept bringing corner blitzes and it worked.
Yep.
It worked. But the defensive
Yep.
line as a whole, they got pressure, they made plays, they batted balls, and overall, I'm very pleased with them.
Yeah, yeah. I also got to. I failed to mention um, Henry Anderson too.
Oh, the
He did
blocked
his
field
thing
goal.
yesterday. He had that block field goal, but he also
Mm-hmm.
applies pressure from the defensive end spot. You got someone that's 6'6", 300 pounds playing defensive end, so he got that long reach. He can set the edge, which I think he did a good job yesterday. And
Mm-hmm.
even though Brian Burns didn't necessarily get a sack or didn't even, do anything that really jumped out on film, I think he played within the scheme because
Yeah.
I didn't see where a lot of people were playing out of position. I saw it a few times that
Mm-hmm.
Alvin Kamara did exploit and get long runs, but other than that, I think he played within the scheme and he set the edge on whatever side he was on. So I think he played the run a lot better yesterday than than most people
Yeah.
would give him credit for. I think we have gotten used to seeing Brian Burns get sacks, and that's all we think of when we look at the stat sheet and we see what his production was. But just looking at the game, I just think that his production yesterday came from just playing his position and doing or taking whatever came to him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel like he
Mm-hmm.
was out there overplaying, or trying to be in a rush to make something happen. If it came to him, cool. If not, I'm still play my position. But that's what I saw from
Agreed.
him. Yeah. And my second
Okay.
point was feeding CMC. Now, last week I said, well, earlier in the week I said, we have to give him 20 to 25 touches to keep us in the game. And he finished the game yesterday. He had 25 rushes for 108 yards and two catches for 7 yards. Yeah, two catches for 7 yards, which was a total of 27 touches. So that fell right in line of what I felt that we needed to get back to as an offense to keep the defensive honest. Now it didn't turn into a big productive day, or big explosive day for CMC, even on that 40-yard run that we had called back when it got called for that holding penalty. But he
Mm-hmm.
still averaged like 4.3 yards per carry. So that's the first down every 3 touches. So I was happy
Mm-hmm.
about that. I was happy that they got him involved early and often, as I said, early in the week. What you think about
I agree. I completely agree. I'm
it?
glad he
Okay.
got touches. I'm glad he got yards. My only complaint
Oh Lord,
about
here we go.
McCaffrey. And no, I know, and I think you'll agree with this. My only complaint is they still treat him like he is 6'5" or 6'4", 6'5", and it's 250 pounds, and it's just gonna go in the middle of that line and run people over, for 2 yards.
Yeah.
That's my only complaint, and it's not a CMC thing, because
Right.
he
Right.
can only do what he can do. You
Right.
know, I go back to the play calling. CMC is great. I love him. He's doing what he has to do, but on obvious running plays when they're clogging up the middle and they continually try to beat this man up in between the tackle and in between the guard and center, trying to get him to get a yard. It's that is my only issue, but I'm not going to harp on it. He had a good game. He had the touches. He had the yards. He had that one play that was called back that I wish we could have kept. But CMC going forward, this needs to be the game plan. Maybe a little tweaking in it when it comes to some of these third down and short plays, but I'm happy with it.
No, I agree. I agree on that. When you talk about the play calling, I agree with you 110% because I would definitely like to see Deontay Foreman get more touches in situations like that. The short yardage situations when you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, or even if we want to go for it on 4th and 1 or 4th and inches. I think you need somebody with a little bit more bulk, to put
Mm-hmm.
to I don't want to say put pressure on the line, but it gives that added pressure, trying to
Mm-hmm.
push the pile forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
even here, short yardage, just say you throw Foreman in the back and throw Christian in the slot. Now you
Yeah.
really got something to
Yeah.
worry about.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I
But
agree.
that's a
I agree
topic
with
we've
that.
already discussed. I'm gonna stand pat.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I was glad. I was glad on that. And my third thing, Laviska Chenault brought the juice. Oh my God,
Boy,
did he bring the
look,
juice?
little Debo.
Lil Debo 2.0. But he had two catches for 90 yards and two kickoff returns for 54 yards. On that one series, when he scored, he had a 36-yard kickoff and
Mm-hmm.
67-yard uh, catch and run on a touchdown. So, he brings a physical presence that I feel like was lacking when it comes to our receivers. When you're starting three receivers and your two receivers is Robbie Anderson and Shi Smith, which neither one of them weigh more than 180 pounds with equipment on. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
but
saying? So I just feel like we need a little bit more bigger presence. I know Rashard Higgins was active yesterday, but he didn't get not one ball thrown his
damn
way.
decoy.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like the fact that we didn't take advantage of putting a bigger receiver in the slot that can cause mismatches on some of these corners or these safeties. You know, Shy Smith, like, I like him. I was glad that we got him in the sixth round when we drafted him last year, but he doesn't create the mismatches that is there in the slot like someone that Terrace Marshall can or Rashard Higgins can or even Laviska Shenault. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about
Yeah.
bigger body receivers. Terrace Marshall
Hey,
got
and
the
hold on.
speed and the
Can I
size.
can I can I add to that real quick? I
Yeah,
don't
go
mean to
ahead.
cut
Go
you
ahead.
off, but I'm cutting you off. I'm sorry. But I think
You rude but not
that
rude. Okay, I get
yeah, exactly.
it.
I want to jump on that point. I think if there had been a one of our bigger body receivers in the slot, it may have gone a different way because I think the cornerback from New Orleans, I think it was Roby, I think is his name. He got
Yeah.
away with a whole lot of holding yesterday. I
Yes.
mean, a whole lot. Even
Yes,
the
he did.
announcers noticed it. He got away with a whole lot. But just think if there had been a bigger receiver, in that slot going up against him, to your point, it may have worked out better. It was a different matchup. You got Lil Shy Smith and I can't remember his first name, but the guy, the defensive back Roby, they about the same size. I mean,
Yeah.
he grabbing that you can't really see it until you looking at the replay. But
Right.
that would have been probably more pronounced, more obvious with a bigger receiver. And I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue. My bad.
No. You good. You good. But yeah, I'm definitely, like I said, Laviska Chenault brought the juice. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to see where they're going to go forward. How they're going to use them. Um, I think he could be another Debo Samuels 2.0 for us. He's not as fast as Debo. He don't have that 4.3, 4.4 speed, but he definitely is a physical presence. You can even tell, even on that touchdown run, like nobody wanted to try to tackle him. Nobody wanted to hit him.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Like I don't think nobody want any part of that F-350 truck, rumbling down the field yesterday. I mean, that's a big dude, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So imagine talking about tackling him and he's 6'2", 230, as opposed to Shy Smith that's only like 5'10", 180. That's a
Yeah.
50-pound difference. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I
Yeah.
would
He
want that
stuck his
smoke
foot in the
either.
ground.
Yeah. Yeah,
He stuck
he
his
stuck
foot in the
his foot in the
ground and made a
ground
good move.
and kept it moving. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
He sure did.
those are my three things. The pressure from the defense, feeding
Mm-hmm.
CMC, and the juice that Laviska Shenault brought, man.
The
And
juice.
I'm just excited. I'm excited for that one win.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just hope that they continue to build upon, because it makes a big difference when you come in on Monday or Tuesday and you looking at tape and you trying to build and learn from a loss as to building
Mm-hmm.
and trying to learn from a win.
You got that
That
right.
makes the film study for the rest of the week, leading up to the next week opponent, much different. You know,
A lot
so
happier.
yeah, and a lot happier. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my take on it. So there were two quick stats that I wanted to point out. The Panthers
Mm-hmm.
had a 67-yard touchdown, the one by Laviska Shenault. That was their third play of 50-plus yards in 2022, time for the most in the NFL this season. So I just
Okay.
kind of harp just kind of go back onto what you say about the play calling being pedestrian and lackluster whatnot. But we've had
It is.
three plays over 50 yards so far this season that ties us for the most in the NFL. So the plays are there. And I also, just a quick note, I think for the fact, and we also have to remember that New Orleans Saints defense ain't no slouch. And we all
Mm-mm.
know how good they DBs are with Marshawn Lattimore, now with Tyrann Mathieu back there. So I think there were a lot of times where people were maybe expecting to see big plays downfield or something over the top. But I don't think we was necessarily in a position to take those kind of shots yesterday. We seen when we took the shots against Cleveland. We even took the shots a couple of times against the Giants, even though we didn't hit on them. But the shots were there. I just don't think
Mm-hmm.
that the shots were there yesterday. But I also don't feel like we capitalize on what was available to us. And a lot of that to me was the
Yeah.
receivers not getting open and with Baker also holding on to the ball too long. So
True.
you can kind of chop it up either way, but
Yeah.
in my opinion, those two things kind of go hand in hand depending on which play you're looking at, you know.
Yeah. Well,
And
I'm piggyback on that just a tad bit.
okay.
You talking about those three big plays. I mean, a stop clock is right twice a day. So
Oh Lord! So
hey,
you just wanted something to say. You wasn't coming nothing with nothing fundamentally sound or argument. You just wanted just
no, that is fundamentally sound. That's a fact. That is a fact. A stop
oh my
clock is
God.
right twice a day. That's a
Oh,
fact.
okay. Okay.
Hey, let me tell you, I have been the forever optimist about this Carolina Panthers team for years. Years. I always defend them. I always tell people, oh no, this is not this is not that, this is not the third. But I've gotten the mindset, especially this year, and I think Rule has really done this to me. I got to call it how I see it. You it was a lot of good out of this game. It was a
Okay, but
lot of
can
good.
can 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 we just call it a victory? Can we just for one week
Hmm.
can we just call it a victory and let's just talk about the victory. Let's just
We
because
have been talking about the
we
victory.
haven't won a game in 9 games. So I'm not gonna let you. You know what? I'm not gonna let you do this. I'm not gonna let you do this. We won. There's always things to be worked on. There's always things that needs to be corrected. I understand that. But for this week right here, we're gonna go to the bank Monday morning and we're gonna make a withdrawal and we're gonna wear this W all week long.
Hey, you know what? Remember, remember? I think it was 2015 when we went to the Super Bowl, and
Uh-huh.
remember every Monday, Krispy Kreme donuts were $3 a dozen.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I need them to bring that back. I think we damn near bankrupt that company that year because let me tell you, boy, it was a lot of damn donuts sold that year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's something we need to bring back. Maybe that brings a little bit more spirit to the team. But I mean,
Right.
you're right. It's a W, and
Yeah.
I'm glad we got the W. I always want the W, but I'm always gonna point out what needs to be pointed out. That's the reason we do this. We are two fans in the stands.
What
Not
can't
two
what
optimists, just kind of flapping in the
what can't
wind.
what can we point it out later on this week? Let's not point it out right now. Let's not let's just focus on the W today. We could talk about what needs to be improved and what they need to work on going forward. Let me have this moment, sir. Please. Can I have this?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, sir.
Boy, I tell
No,
you.
sir.
Boy, I tell
Hey,
you.
but I'm happy. Like I was telling you before we started, I'm happy about the win. but I'm not happy with the win. I know that don't make no sense, but hey,
none whatsoever.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy with some aspects of the win. I put it like that. That makes a lot more sense. But
Okay.
yeah.
All right, sir. All right. Well, everyone, that would do it for us this week. Next week's opponent is the Arizona Cardinals at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Until then, Panthers fans, keep pounding.